So the first one is an absolute cracker. Well, it might be a 0-0 cracker because it's Burnley versus Aston Villa. Burnley plus 200, and Burnley are in great form. Villa at plus 145. You don't know what you're getting. Over 2.5 goals. The over is at plus 105. The draw's at plus 240. Burnley to score twice at plus 185. Mark O'Hare, Burnley versus Villa. I think this is going to be tight and cagey for maybe the first hour.
Yeah, I agree. It probably will be, but I'm very interested in that Burnley price of plus 200. The last 3 matches at Turf Moor, Burnley have gone off at plus 160, at home to Everton, plus 170, at home to Southampton, plus 155, at home to Wolves. They returned 3 wins from 3 in those 3 games, generated well over 5.5 expected goals, had 31 shots from inside the penalty area across those 3 games. Yet here they're plus 200 against Aston Villa, who personally I don't rate as significantly better than Everton, Southampton or Wolves. So there's clearly a difference in opinion there, and it's kind of something we've talked about a few times in recent weeks actually is Aston Villa and their price. And I think collectively we felt that they've been going off at short prices, and the market clearly likes them. They were favourites at Leicester a fortnight ago. They were favourites at Wolves. A couple of weeks back as well, and we kind of questioned it then. So I still don't really get it. I still find it quite puzzling. I just think Burnley are now moving in the right direction. They are playing attack-minded football. Players like Dwight McNeil, Aaron Lennon are starting to show what they're capable of. They're not playing necessarily direct football, but they're getting the ball forward 2 feet and 2 key players in the right moments. And I watched their game against Watford last week, and I was genuinely enthused by their attitude, their character, and the way in which they went about their business. And I think they deservedly got the points in that match. And you compare it with Aston Villa, who I still think they're probably in a bit of transition, really, because I'm not really sure what the longer term plan is with the approach under Steven Gerrard, because they've mixed and matched between starting 2 strikers, having a sole striker, Coutinho playing behind in the hole, Buendia playing with Coutinho, one of the 2 playing, neither of the 2 playing. I find the midfield lacks a bit of balance. Defensively, we've had question marks over them individually all season as well. So I think this is a great opportunity for Burnley to lay down a marker again and pick up another 3 points. Looking at the prices there, we can get Burnley as a pick 'em at plus 120, which does appeal. I mentioned those last 3 games at home where they've been very, very good, created plenty of chances, scored goals and won matches. And they're playing an Aston Villa team who've lost 10 of their 17 away this season. They are only 6 points better off than Burnley in the league table. And Burnley have only lost 6 games at home in the Premier League this season, 4 of which were against the top 4. So, they have been competitive against teams at Turf Moor all season. You've then got to weigh in the sort of motivational aspect. Burnley absolutely gunning for this. Villa on the beach or just in mid-table mediocrity, really. And, do they really fancy a trip to sort of get involved amongst it at Turf Moor in May? It's not really for me. So quite happy to be against Villa here. I can understand why they are quite highly rated. I did some digging, and if you look down to sort of expected goals and the performance data, they're rated quite highly over the sort of the last 12, 16 games, which is kind of driving the market here. But I just think there's bigger issues at play here, and I'm quite happy to sort of get Burnley on side here. And if they lose, they lose, but I'm quite happy to sort of get my money back if the game ends in a draw and paid out at plus 120 if they do win.
Yeah, listen, you did shock me though when you started saying I like Burnley at plus 200. I'm thinking he's going with a plus 120. He's definitely having that draw no bet on his side. It looks like a draw stinch at plus 240. And how, just obviously this is your game here, as in numbers. Villa at plus 145. How the hell are they favourites when they've got nothing to gain other than a bit of pride and a bit of progression against the Burnley side, who's need 3 points? One, okay, would take something, but they need the 3 points, so they've got to keep bombing.
Yeah, it feels like the motivation factor's not weighing heavily enough here on Burnley, as you rightly point out. I mean, Mark makes the good case that the reason Villa are favourites is because of their underlying performance data, and if we look at the actual players they possess, they are better than Burnley's. But you're right, the motivation factor is a big thing. So if you are having a bet, then I do think trying to get Burnley on side is the right way to go. I just don't really want to, because it's only a few games now under the new manager. I'd just prefer a bit more of a long-term information, unless the price is too good to be true, of course. And yeah, the way Burnley play football sometimes. I know they have evolved a little bit under this new manager, but I think there's also a train of thought. Now they've kind of got themselves out of the relegation zone. Will they maybe revert to type and and say, okay, a point at home to Villa is a good result, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think Mark makes a good point and sort of covered most of the angles there. If you do think Burnley will revert to type, maybe the unders is worth a go. 9 of Burnley's last 11 home games have gone under 2.5 goals. So maybe that's the way to go. But I would always be a little bit wary against the Villa team. I'm literally just waiting for them to burst into life, to be honest. When you've got Ollie Watkins, Danny Ings, Coutinho, Buendia, Jacob Ramsey, 2 attack-minded fullbacks, it's like, when is it going to click? And obviously Gerrard's job is not going to be in trouble or anything, but you think the owners would be expected him to have won a few more games by this period. So as a Liverpool fan, maybe he'll do us a favour and beat Man City.
I look at this Villa side and think it's like having custard with my mince or having ice cream with my steak. The blend and the mix is just not quite right. Yeah, they've got lovely ingredients, but they've also got some that absolutely stinking for me, which again, I think we're going to have to wait until August to see the best of them. Let's have a little look at the official picks because I think we've got some good value. I've gone with draw half time at plus 105. I think it stinks of a draw early on, and it's whether Burnley Villa. You pushed me for a correct score. I'd go for 1-1. Draw for Burnley. Draw no bet Burnley at plus 120, which is a big price considering most of us would think that they're going to be the favourites, but they're not. Villa are favourites at plus 145.